The Nile, ancient, eternal, a lifeline for a civilization of gods and kings. Its waters have witnessed the rise and fall of empires, but none more captivating than the story of the queen who dared to defy the greatest power the world had ever known. Her name echoes through time. Cleopatra, a ruler of unrivaled intelligence and ambition, she reigned over a kingdom caught in the crosshairs of history. Was she a cunning seductress, as her enemies claimed, or a visionary leader fighting to protect her kingdom's legacy? Her alliances would shake the ancient world, her love would ignite wars, and her fall would mark the end of an era. Yet her legend has only grown stronger through the centuries. Who was Cleopatra? Queen, lover, warrior, or something far greater? Join us as we journey into the life and legacy of the last Pharaoh of Egypt. This is the untold story of Cleopatra VII, the Serpent of the Nile. It is 69 BCE, and Egypt stands at the crossroads of history. Once the crown jewel of ancient civilization, the kingdom now teeters on the brink of collapse. Internal strife, foreign ambition, and the relentless tide of Rome threaten to engulf this land of gods and kings. Born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, a line of Greek rulers descended from Alexander the Great, Cleopatra VII was destined for power. But the Egypt of her birth was no longer a land of triumph. It was a realm on the defensive, clinging to a fading legacy. Cleopatra's lineage has been the subject of much debate. As a descendant of the Macedonian Ptolemies, her ancestry was Greek, but the lack of records about her maternal line has fueled speculation about her potential Egyptian heritage. This mystery adds another layer to Cleopatra's enigma, inviting questions about identity and belonging in the ancient world. From an early age, Cleopatra showed an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Unlike her predecessors, who relied on Greek traditions, she immersed herself in Egyptian culture, mastering its language and customs. But this was not mere curiosity. This was a strategy. While her father was still alive, in the halls of power, whispers of rebellion echoed, but Ptolemy XII clung to his throne by aligning with the Romans. And although it brought some temporal calmness, it was a fragile peace, bought with gold and submission, and it bred resentment among the Egyptian people. After her father's death, there was left a fractured throne, and Cleopatra, barely 18, found herself co-ruler with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. But this uneasy partnership would soon collapse into chaos. Not long after her father's death, she was betrayed and exiled from Egypt, and Cleopatra's enemies believed they had silenced her. But they underestimated her resolve. From the barren sands of exile, she began plotting her return, a comeback that would cement her legend. Cleopatra's chance came in 48 BCE, when Julius Caesar arrived in Alexandria to arbitrate the Ptolemaic sibling rivalry. Seizing the opportunity, she devised a daring plan to meet the Roman general face to face. Legend has it that Cleopatra smuggled herself into Caesar's presence wrapped in a rug. This move was seen as audacious as well as theatrical. The gamble paid off. Caesar, captivated by her intelligence and charm, agreed to support her claim to the throne. With Caesar's backing, Cleopatra reclaimed her throne. But this alliance came at a cost. To her people, she was now the queen who owed her crown to Rome. To Rome, she was a foreign temptress with dangerous ambitions. Irrespective of these notions, their alliance deepened, both politically and personally. Under her reign, Egypt remained an economic powerhouse. The Nile's fertile lands ensured abundant harvests. For Cleopatra, the Nile was more than a river. It was a lifeline, a symbol of prosperity, and a unifying force for her kingdom. The Nile's cycles shaped Egypt's economy and culture, and she understood its central role in securing her kingdom's survival. The Nile was the lifeblood of Cleopatra's Egypt, and it remains central to the region's identity. Its rhythms shaped her kingdom's agriculture, economy, and spirituality. Through the centuries, the Nile has borne witness to Egypt's transformations, its waters connecting the past to the present. Alexandria, Cleopatra's capital, was a marvel of the ancient world. Its vibrant streets, monumental architecture, and the great library represented the pinnacle of human achievement. Alexandria's ports facilitated trade across the Mediterranean. Cleopatra's economic policies aimed to stabilize her kingdom, making Egypt indispensable to Rome and a key player in global trade. In 47 BCE, Cleopatra gave birth to a son, Ptolemy Caesar, known as Caesarion or Little Caesar. This child symbolized the union of two great civilizations, but to Rome, he was a threat. Caesar's growing power and his relationship with Cleopatra alarmed the Roman elite. They saw her not as a queen, but as a harbinger of Eastern decadence and a challenge to their republic. Cleopatra had regained her throne, but her position was far from secure. She ruled a divided kingdom in the shadow of Rome, with enemies both home and abroad waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Determined to consolidate her power, Cleopatra embarked on ambitious projects. She expanded trade routes, funded monumental architecture, and invested in the sciences. She sought not just to preserve Egypt's sovereignty, but to restore its former glory. Her fleet was among the largest in the Mediterranean, symbolizing Egypt's enduring power. Cleopatra's Egypt was a hub of global trade, exporting papyrus, grain, and luxury goods. Her reign capitalized on Egypt's strategic position to dominate commerce. By fostering economic partnerships, she ensured Egypt's prosperity and its essential role in the ancient world's economy. While Cleopatra strengthened her kingdom, Rome descended into chaos. Julius Caesar, who was now dictator for life, faced mounting oppositions. To many, his relationship with Cleopatra symbolized a betrayal of Rome's traditions and a dangerous flirtation with monarchy. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, Julius Caesar was assassinated by his own senators. His death sent shockwaves through Rome and left Cleopatra vulnerable once more. Her once protector and ally was now gone. In the ensuing power vacuum, alliances shifted rapidly, and the future of Rome and Egypt hung in the balance. In the aftermath of Caesar's death, Rome was now divided among his heirs. One of them was Mark Antony, a charismatic general known for his ambition and appetite for luxury. When Antony summoned Cleopatra to discuss Egypt's loyalty, she answered not as a subject, but as a queen. From their first meeting, the chemistry between Mark Antony and Cleopatra was undeniable. She dazzled him with her intelligence, her charm, and her vision of a world where Egypt and Rome could rule together. Their partnership was both romantic and strategic. Cleopatra provided Antony with wealth and resources for his campaigns, while he offered her protection and the promise of shared power. Together, they dreamed of building an empire to rival Rome itself. But not everyone shared their vision. In Rome, Octavian, who was Caesar's adopted heir, viewed Antony and Cleopatra as threats to his authority. To him, they represented decadence, betrayal, and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Octavian launched a campaign to turn public opinion against them. Cleopatra was painted as the serpent of the Nile, a manipulative queen who sought to corrupt Rome with her Eastern allure. The conflict between Octavian and the lovers reached its breaking point in 31 BCE. At the Battle of Actium, the fate of Egypt and Rome would be decided. Outnumbered and outmaneuvered, Mark Antony and Cleopatra's forces were decisively defeated. The dream of a shared empire was shattered, and the lovers fled to Alexandria, with their hopes fading. With Octavian's legions advancing on Alexandria, Cleopatra faced a terrible choice to surrender and live as a prisoner of Rome, or die as a queen. According to legend, Cleopatra chose death over humiliation. and on August 12, 30 BCE, she allowed an asp to bite her, a symbol of both her divine royalty and her defiance. While the Battle of Actium ended in defeat, Cleopatra's efforts showcased her commitment to defending Egypt's sovereignty at all costs. Cleopatra's death marked the end of Egypt's dynastic rule. For nearly 3,000 years, pharaohs had ruled the land of the Nile, their names etched into the annals of history. Cleopatra was the last of their line. With the loss of its sovereignty, Egypt's identity transformed. The gods of old were joined by Roman deities, and the grandeur of the pharaohs became a memory preserved in stone. Cleopatra's death left her son, Caesarion, as the last vestige of the Ptolemaic dynasty. As the son of Julius Caesar, he represented a dangerous claim to Rome's throne, a threat Octavian could not ignore. Despite efforts to secure his safety, Caesarion was captured and executed on Octavian's orders. With his death, the bloodline of the pharaohs ended, and Egypt finally became a province of Rome. In Rome, Octavian celebrated his triumph. Cleopatra's image was displayed as a defeated queen, her legacy twisted into a cautionary tale of ambition and decadence. With Cleopatra and Antony gone, Octavian solidified his power, transforming the Republic into the Roman Empire. He became Augustus, the first emperor, and Egypt's wealth became the foundation of his rule. With Egypt now a Roman province, Alexandria's role shifted. Once the cultural heart of the Hellenistic world, it became a resource hub for the empire, supplying grain and treasure to fuel Rome's expansion. Yet the spirit of Cleopatra's Alexandria endured. Its library, its monuments, and its people continued to inspire awe across the ancient world. In the years following her death, Cleopatra became a figure of myth. Roman writers like Plutarch and Dio Cassius immortalized her as a seductress who bewitched men and toppled empires. But these accounts were far from unbiased. To the Romans, she was a warning against Eastern influence. To her people, she was the last great pharaoh, a symbol of resistance against foreign domination. For centuries, Cleopatra's story was reimagined by each generation. In the Renaissance, she was celebrated as a tragic heroine. In the 19th century, she became a symbol of exoticism and mystery. In the modern era, Cleopatra's legacy has been reshaped once again, this time as a powerful leader who defied the odds. But what do these interpretations reveal about her and about us? Cleopatra's relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony have been romanticized for centuries. But were they affairs of the heart or alliances of survival? Her charm was legendary, but it was her political acumen that made these alliances possible. She knew that love and power often walked hand in hand. The story of Cleopatra's death, her use of an asp to commit suicide, has become one of history's most enduring myths. But how much of it is true? Some argue that the asp is a symbol, not a reality. Others suggest poison or even murder at Octavian's orders. What remains undeniable is the dramatic power of her final act. Cleopatra's story has inspired countless women throughout history. Her intelligence, ambition, and resilience serve as a testament to the strength of women in power. Her legacy reminds us that leadership comes in many forms, and that even in the face of overwhelming odds, determination can shape the course of history. Much of Cleopatra's world has been lost to time, buried under the sands of Egypt or beneath the Mediterranean Sea. But archaeologists continue to uncover clues about her reign. These discoveries shed light on Cleopatra's life, offering glimpses into the culture and politics of her time, and fueling our fascination with her story. But one of the greatest mysteries of Cleopatra's story is the location of her tomb. Ancient accounts suggest she was buried with Mark Antony in a grand mausoleum, but its location has never been found. Some believe her tomb lies beneath the Mediterranean, swallowed by the sea after centuries of earthquakes. Others speculate it may be hidden in the deserts near Alexandria. The search continues, driven by the hope of uncovering her final resting place. What is it about Cleopatra that captures our imagination? Is it her intelligence, her beauty, her audacity to defy empires? Perhaps it is her complexity, a woman who was both revered and reviled, powerful and vulnerable, human and myth. Cleopatra's story is not just history. It is a mirror reflecting the questions we ask about power, gender, and legacy. In the Roman imagination, she was a figure of fascination and fear. Roman plays and stories portrayed her as the ultimate seductress, a woman who wielded beauty as a weapon to manipulate the mighty. This portrayal served Rome's political needs, justifying their conquest of Egypt by framing Cleopatra as an existential threat, a queen who dared to challenge Rome's dominance. During the Middle Ages, Cleopatra's story took on a new form. In Europe, she was remembered less for her politics and more for her tragic romance, her intellect overshadowed by her relationships with powerful men. Yet even in this era, her legacy endured as a cautionary tale about ambition, love, and the dangers of defying fate. In the Renaissance, Cleopatra became a muse for artists and writers. Her story inspired works of literature, music, and art, each interpreting her life through the lens of their time. Shakespeare immortalized her in his play, portraying her as both a lover and a queen, flawed yet majestic. This duality captivated audiences, ensuring her story would remain timeless. In the 19th century, Cleopatra's story was co-opted by Orientalist artists and writers, who painted her as a symbol of the mysterious and sensual East. These depictions often distorted her legacy, emphasizing spectacle over substance. This era's fascination with Cleopatra reveals more about Western perceptions of the East than about the queen herself, reshaping her image for a new audience. In modern popular culture, Cleopatra has become a symbol of intrigue, power, and beauty. From Hollywood blockbusters to novels and video games, her story continues to captivate audiences around the globe. Each portrayal adds a new layer to her legend, blending historical fact with creative fiction. But what do these depictions say about her true legacy? In recent years, Cleopatra has been re-examined as a feminist icon, a woman who broke barriers and defied expectations in a male-dominated world. Her intelligence, political skill, and resilience have inspired countless women to see her not as a seductress, but as a leader who fought for her people and her legacy. During her reign, it was a time of scientific innovation. Her court was home to astronomers, mathematicians, and physicians who pushed the boundaries of knowledge. This intellectual legacy reminds us that Cleopatra's Egypt was not just a land of monuments, but a beacon of learning and discovery. Cleopatra's Egypt may have fallen to Rome, but its influence endured. Egyptian art, religion, and culture left an indelible mark on Roman society, from the adoption of Isis worship to the incorporation of obelisks into Roman cityscapes. Even as Rome sought to dominate Egypt, it could not resist its allure. Cleopatra's legacy became intertwined with the empire's own identity. Her image was as much a political weapon as her alliances. Octavian used her likeness to fuel his propaganda, portraying her as a threat to Roman values and stability. But these depictions tell only part of the story. Beneath the Roman bias lies a portrait of a queen who understood the power of perception and wielded it to her advantage. Cleopatra's legacy lived on through her children. While Caesarion's life ended tragically, her other children, Alexander Helios, Cleopatra Selene, and Ptolemy Philadelphus, were taken to Rome after her death. Cleopatra Selene, married to King Juba II of Mauritania, carried forward her mother's lineage and traditions, blending Egyptian culture with the Mediterranean world. Cleopatra was not only a ruler, but a diplomat par excellence. Her ability to navigate the complex web of Mediterranean politics ensured Egypt's survival for as long as it did. Her charm and intellect allowed her to bridge divides, forging partnerships that often seemed impossible, a testament to her political acumen. As pharaoh, Cleopatra was not just a political leader, but a religious figure. She embraced the role of a living goddess, presenting herself as the embodiment of Isis. Her role as a divine figure strengthened her bond with her people, reinforcing her authority and legitimacy. Under her reign, the Great Library of Alexandria remained a beacon of knowledge. It attracted scholars from across the ancient world, advancing fields such as astronomy, medicine, and mathematics. Though much of the library's contents were lost to history, its spirit endures as a symbol of human curiosity and learning, a legacy Cleopatra fiercely protected. Cleopatra understood the power of image. Her attire and presentation reflected her dual identity as a Greek ruler of an Egyptian kingdom, blending the aesthetics of both cultures. Through her clothing and iconography, Cleopatra conveyed her status as a ruler of two worlds, bridging traditions to command respect and loyalty. She was said to have an interest in science, particularly in alchemy and medicine. Legends describe her experimenting with perfumes and poisons, blending knowledge with myth. These stories highlight her intellectual curiosity, blending the practical and the symbolic, a hallmark of her reign. Cleopatra VII remains one of history's most enigmatic figures. As we continue to uncover the past, Cleopatra's life reminds us that history is not just a record of events, but a dialogue between the present and the past, a story that evolves with each generation. Cleopatra was the last in a long line of Ptolemaic rulers, a dynasty founded by Ptolemy I Soter, one of Alexander the Great's generals. This lineage combined Greek traditions with Egyptian governance, creating a unique hybrid monarchy. Her reign was the culmination of this cultural fusion, a delicate balance of loyalty to her people and allegiance to her ancestry. While her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony are well known, Cleopatra also forged alliances beyond Rome, strengthening ties with neighboring kingdoms and tribes. These alliances reflect her far-reaching vision, positioning Egypt as a central hub in the ancient world. Alexandria was the beating heart of Egypt. Its blend of Greek and Egyptian culture symbolized the unity she sought to achieve. Cleopatra's capital was more than a city. It was a statement of her vision for a cosmopolitan and thriving Egypt. Her identification with the goddess Isis was a strategic choice, linking her rule to divine authority and reinforcing her role as a protector of Egypt. Cleopatra's influence extended beyond Egypt and into Rome, where her independence and power challenged traditional roles for women. Her ability to command armies, negotiate with emperors, and rule a nation offered an alternative vision of what women could achieve, a concept that both inspired and alarmed Roman society. Cleopatra's union with Mark Antony produced 3 children: Alexander Helios, Cleopatra Selene, and Ptolemy Philadelphus. Their births were celebrated as symbols of unity between East and West. After Cleopatra's death, their fates diverged. Cleopatra Selene survived to become Queen of Mauritania, while her brothers disappeared from history, victims of Rome's quest for dominance. Cleopatra's reign was defined by her relationships with powerful men, but it was her political rivals who shaped her destiny. Chief among them was Octavian, the calculating heir to Julius Caesar's legacy. Octavian's propaganda and military strategy outmaneuvered Cleopatra, transforming her into a symbol of foreign decadence and ensuring his rise as Augustus, the first Roman emperor. Unlike many of her predecessors, Cleopatra spoke multiple languages, including Greek, Egyptian, and several others. This linguistic prowess allowed her to connect with diverse audiences and solidify alliances. Her ability to communicate across cultures was a key element of her diplomatic success, showcasing her intelligence and adaptability. Octavian's campaign against Cleopatra was as much a battle of perception as it was of arms. Through art, literature, and rhetoric, he framed her as a dangerous seductress who threatened Rome's values. This manipulation of public opinion ensured that her defeat was seen as a moral victory, cementing her negative portrayal in Roman history. Cleopatra's reign coincided with a flourishing of science in Alexandria. She supported scholars who advanced knowledge in fields like astronomy, medicine, and engineering. This intellectual legacy highlights Cleopatra's commitment to innovation and her belief in the transformative power of knowledge. Cleopatra's ability to navigate complex political landscapes was unmatched. She balanced relationships with Rome, neighboring kingdoms, and internal factions, ensuring Egypt's survival. The country had a long tradition of influential queens and goddesses, making her leadership more acceptable in a society accustomed to female authority. However, Cleopatra's position in a male-dominated Mediterranean world added complexity to her rule, challenging Roman norms and redefining perceptions of female power. Her naval strategies were ambitious, reflecting her in a volatile world. Her diplomatic skill was not just a means of survival, but a testament to her vision of Egypt as a central player in the ancient world. Cleopatra's image has been interpreted in countless ways, from the realistic depictions on coins to the romanticized portraits of later artists. These portrayals reveal how each era has reshaped her story, reflecting both historical realities and cultural aspirations. Cleopatra's relationship with Julius Caesar was not just personal, but profoundly political. Together, they envisioned a new world order, one that blended Rome's power with Egypt's wealth. Though their union was short-lived, its impact resonated through history, shaping the destinies of two great civilizations. From silent films to Hollywood epics, Cleopatra has been a constant presence in popular media. Her story is reimagined with each retelling, reflecting the cultural values and aesthetics of the time. These depictions often highlight her beauty and romance, but modern interpretations are increasingly emphasizing her intelligence and political acumen. For contemporary Egyptians, Cleopatra is both a historical figure and a symbol of national pride. Her story connects ancient Egypt's grandeur with modern aspirations. Her legacy is a reminder of Egypt's enduring cultural and political significance, even in the face of global challenges. Cleopatra's ability to charm and influence powerful men has been both celebrated and criticized throughout history. But was this seduction purely physical, or was it rooted in her intellect and charisma? Her true power lay in her ability to inspire loyalty and admiration, transcending simplistic narratives of beauty and desire. The Battle of Actium marked the beginning of the end for Cleopatra and Antony. Their defeat left Egypt vulnerable, its fate sealed by Rome's relentless pursuit of power. For Cleopatra, the battle was not just a military defeat, but a personal tragedy, a dream of a united empire reduced to ashes. Cleopatra understood the importance of trade in maintaining Egypt's wealth and influence. Under her reign, Alexandria flourished as a hub of commerce, connecting Africa, Asia, and Europe. Her economic strategies ensured Egypt's prosperity, even during times of political uncertainty. Religion was central to Cleopatra's rule. By aligning herself with the gods, particularly Isis, she reinforced her divine authority and strengthened her connection with her people. Her alignment with Isis not only legitimized her reign, but also deepened her bond with her people, who saw her as a living embodiment of their faith. Her spiritual role was not just symbolic, but deeply woven into the fabric of Egyptian society, ensuring her legitimacy as pharaoh. While much of Cleopatra's Alexandria has been lost to time, the architectural achievements of her era reflect her ambition and vision for Egypt. These remnants offer a glimpse into a world of opulence and innovation, a testament to her enduring legacy. Cleopatra's survival depended on information. Her intelligence network spanned the Mediterranean, keeping her informed of political developments and potential threats. This web of spies and allies highlights her strategic mind and her ability to anticipate and counter her enemies. Under Cleopatra's patronage, advancements in science and medicine flourished. Her court attracted scholars who pushed the boundaries of ancient knowledge. These innovations, though overshadowed by her political story, underscore her commitment to progress and discovery. Whatever the truth, her final act cemented her legacy as a ruler who would not be subjugated, even in defeat. From Plutarch to Shakespeare, Cleopatra has inspired countless writers. Her story has been retold through the ages, each version reflecting the values and prejudices of its time. Cleopatra's life was a constant struggle against overwhelming odds. Her ability to remain composed and decisive in the face of betrayal, exile, and war was a testament to her remarkable psychological strength. This inner resilience enabled her to inspire loyalty and lead with conviction, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. Cleopatra's life has been analyzed through the lens of philosophy, her story serving as a case study in leadership, ethics, and human ambition. Her reign raises questions that continue to resonate. How should power be wielded? What defines a successful leader? And what price is worth paying for legacy? Cleopatra's reign exemplified the power of cultural diplomacy. She used Egypt's rich heritage to build bridges with other nations, showcasing her kingdom as a center of civilization. This strategy not only strengthened Egypt's influence, but also elevated its status on the global stage. When Cleopatra aligned herself with Isis, the goddess of motherhood, magic, and fertility, she positioned herself as a living deity. Her influence was so profound that Roman society began adopting elements of her religion. Isis worship spread throughout the Mediterranean, transcending cultural boundaries. Cleopatra's embodiment of this divine figure reshaped spiritual practices in Rome and beyond, blending Egyptian and Roman religious traditions. Cleopatra's reign provides timeless lessons for modern leaders. Her ability to adapt to changing circumstances, forge powerful alliances, and use diplomacy to navigate crises resonates with today's political and corporate leaders. She embodied strategic acumen, which demonstrated that true leadership requires vision, resilience, and the courage to take calculated risks. The ongoing search for her final resting place is a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with her life and legacy, a journey driven by the hope of uncovering the secrets of her reign. Cleopatra's story transcends time, her power immortalized in art, literature, and popular culture. Her image is a symbol of beauty, intelligence, and unyielding determination. Her influence endures, not just as a historical figure, but as an icon who embodies the complexities of leadership and ambition. Today, archaeologists and historians are piecing together the grandeur of her city, revealing new insights into a world lost to time. Cleopatra's diplomacy was a cornerstone of her reign. She negotiated with powerful empires and fostered alliances that extended Egypt's influence far beyond its borders. Her legacy as a diplomat highlights the importance of dialogue and mutual respect in maintaining peace and prosperity. Cleopatra's relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony played a pivotal role in the transformation of Rome. Their alliances and rivalries reshaped the political landscape, leading to the rise of the Roman Empire. Her story inspires those who strive to break barriers, proving that leadership and ambition are not confined by gender. This story is also inseparable from Rome's evolution, a reminder of how individual choices can alter the course of history. In recent years, Cleopatra has been reclaimed as a symbol of female empowerment. Her intelligence, political skill and resilience challenge traditional narratives that reduce her to a figure of seduction. Cleopatra's name is recognized across cultures and continents. Her story resonates universally, a blend of triumph and tragedy that speaks to the human experience. Her global appeal lies in her ability to transcend time and place, embodying values and struggles that unite us all. Cleopatra's life is a testament to the power of storytelling. Each retelling, whether in art, film, or literature, shapes her legacy anew, ensuring her story endures. Her story reminds us that history is not just about facts. It is about the narratives we create and the lessons we choose to remember. Cleopatra is not just a figure of history. She is a timeless queen, her image evolving with each generation. Her ability to adapt to the values and aspirations of different eras ensures her place as one of history's most enduring icons. Cleopatra's reign offers valuable lessons for the challenges of today. Her ability to navigate uncertainty, foster alliances, and inspire loyalty highlights the qualities of effective leadership. Her story is a guide for future generations, a reminder of the power of resilience and vision. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding her life, her choices, and the legacy she left behind. Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt, is more than a historical figure. She is a legend, a symbol of strength, intelligence, and resilience that transcends time. Her story will continue to inspire, challenge, and captivate humanity, ensuring that her name echoes through eternity. Through literature, Cleopatra's legacy has transcended history, becoming a symbol of love, power, and tragedy. Cleopatra's story is not just about the past, it's about the present. Her life challenges us to question how we define power, legacy, and identity. In her story, we find echoes of our own struggles and aspirations, a reminder that even in the face of insurmountable odds, one person can change the course of history. Was Cleopatra a cunning seductress, a visionary leader, or a victim of circumstance? The truth lies somewhere in between, a queen who fought to the last breath to protect her kingdom and her legacy. A queen who was both human and divine, a ruler who was both revered and reviled. Cleopatra's story is not just history, it is a timeless legend. If this story intrigued you, subscribe to uncover more secrets of history's most enigmatic figures.